First contact and invasion. The vastness of space held no mysteries for Supreme Commander Vorax of the Sauran Empire. His species had conquered 17 star systems in the last galactic cycle, their sleek crystalline warships bringing subjugation to countless civilizations. The Saurans' technological superiority was unquestioned, their military might unchallenged, until they encountered Earth. Vorax stood on the command deck of his flagship, the inevitable victory, his forearms clasped behind his back as he studied the blue-green planet on the main view screen. The exoskeleton plates across his chest gleamed under the ship's ambient lighting, polished to a mirror shine that reflected his pride in the Empire's accomplishments. Scans complete, Supreme Commander reported his second-in-command, Sub-Commander Thrix. Primitive civilization detected. Approximately 8 billion life forms. Limited orbital infrastructure. No significant defensive capabilities. They call their world Earth. Vorax's mandibles clicked together in what passed for amusement among the Saurans. Another simple conquest, then. Open communications with their planetary leadership. Offer the standard terms. The standard terms were simple. Immediate surrender, integration into the Sauran Empire as a resource world, and conscription of 20% of the population for labor in the Empire's antimatter refineries. Those who refused faced orbital bombardment until compliance was achieved. The message was transmitted planet-wide on all frequencies. Earth was given 24 hours to respond. In the underground complex beneath the Rocky Mountains, General Maya Chen of the United Earth Defense Command reviewed the alien ultimatum. Around her, military leaders from across the globe had assembled via emergency protocols the moment the Sauran fleet had been detected entering the solar system 3 days ago. So the rumors were true, said Admiral Okonkwo of the African Union Space Force. We are not alone, and they are not friendly. Friendly or not, we've been preparing for this moment for 15 years, General Chen replied, her expression resolute. Project Defiance is ready. The question is, do we reveal it now or wait? Colonel Ivan Petrov, representing the Eurasian Coalition, leaned forward. If we wait, we may not get another chance. The Defiance and its systems are fully operational. Captain Rice and her crew are standing by. General Chen nodded. Then we are in agreement. Earth will not surrender to these Saurans. We will show them that humanity is not as defenseless as they believe. In a camouflaged orbital dock, disguised as a derelict satellite platform, the Earth defense ship Defiance waited. From the outside, it looked unassuming, a bulky, angular craft that seemed almost primitive compared to the elegant Sauran vessels. But appearances were intentionally deceiving. Captain Alina Reyes moved through the corridors of the Defiance, nodding to her multinational crew as final preparations were made. At 42, Reyes had been handpicked to command humanity's secret weapon, a vessel representing 20 years of classified international cooperation, combining technologies that had never been revealed to the public. All systems ready, Captain, reported Commander Sato, her executive officer. Quantum shield generators at full capacity. Phase shift engines primed. Gravitational lensing weapons charged. Reyes took her seat in the command chair. Send acknowledgement to Earth Command. Where a go? When the 24-hour deadline expired, Supreme Commander Vorax was unsurprised by Earth's silence. Few species accepted subjugation without at least a token show of resistance. Begin demonstration bombardment, he ordered. Target their largest military installations. Let them understand the futility of resistance. The Sauran fleet's forward batteries charge, directed at key military bases around the globe. The first salvos streaked toward Earth, brilliant energy beams slicing through the atmosphere and detonating with catastrophic force. Explosions bloomed across multiple continents as the attacks found their targets. Second wave, Vorax commanded. Target their governmental centers. Supreme Commander. His sensor officer interrupted, voice sharp with alarm. Energy spike detected in Earth orbit. Unknown vessel decloaking. On the view screen, seemingly materializing from empty space, appeared the Defiance. It was accelerating rapidly toward the Saran fleet, its engines leaving a distinctive plasma trail through the void. "What is that primitive-looking vessel?" Vorax scoffed. "A single ship. Destroy it." 3 Saran cruisers broke formation to intercept, their weapons systems charging. They fired simultaneously, energy beams converging on the human vessel, only to disperse harmlessly against an invisible barrier surrounding the ship. On the Defiance's bridge, alarms blared as the shields absorbed the impact. "Shields holding at 92%, reported Lieutenant Park at Tactical. "Their weapons are powerful, but the quantum diffusion is working as designed." "Return fire," ordered Captain Reyes. "Target the nearest vessel. Gravitational lensing at full power." The Defiance's main weapon was unlike anything the Sarans had encountered before. Instead of conventional energy beams, it fired concentrated gravitational distortions, invisible to the naked eye, but devastating to any matter caught in their path. The gravitational pulse struck the nearest Saran vessel, and the effect was immediate and catastrophic. The ship's crystalline hull compressed, as if caught in an invisible vice, buckling inward before shattering completely. The destruction was instantaneous, with no time for the crew to evacuate. Vorax stared in disbelief as one of his most advanced warships disintegrated. "All vessels, concentrate fire on that ship," he commanded, his composure slipping for the first time in decades of military service. The Saran fleet responded, dozens of energy beams lancing toward the Defiance. The human ship moved with surprising agility, evading many of the beams while its shields absorbed others. It returned fire methodically, each gravitational pulse finding its mark with devastating precision. 2 more Saran ships were destroyed in quick succession before Vorax made a decision unprecedented in the Empire's conquest history. "All vessels, defensive formation. Pull back to the system's outer boundary." The surviving Saran ships retreated, regrouping at a safer distance from Earth. Vorax could not comprehend what had just happened. How had the humans developed such technology? The scans had shown nothing to indicate this level of advancement. Cheers erupted in the Earth Defense Command Center as they watched the Saran fleet retreat. General Chen knew the victory was temporary, but it was significant. Humanity had proven it would not be an easy conquest. "They'll be back," she said, silencing the celebration. "And they'll return with more ships. This is just the beginning." The Defiance took up a defensive position in Earth orbit, its crew exhausted but triumphant. Captain Rice stared at the distant stars where the Saran fleet had disappeared. "XO, start repairs immediately," she ordered. "Inform Earth Command that we're operational but need to recharge our gravitational lensing systems." Commander Sato nodded, but her expression was concerned. "Captain, we caught them by surprise this time. Next time, they'll be prepared for us." Reyes nodded grimly. "Then we'll have to be prepared for them too. The Defiance may be Earth's best weapon, but one ship won't be enough to win this war." As the Defiance orbited Earth, humanity began its preparations for the coming battle. The world united as never before in the face of the common threat. All resources were directed toward defense. The secret technologies that had gone into the Defiance were now shared openly, with factories around the globe retooling to produce components for planetary shield generators and new vessels. Aboard the inevitable Victory, Supreme Commander Vorax reviewed the battle footage repeatedly, searching for weaknesses in the human ship. His pride was wounded, but more than that, he was intrigued. In all their conquests, the Sarans had never encountered technology like the gravitational weapons. "Send a message to the Imperial fleet," he ordered. "Request reinforcements. Prepare all ships for a full analysis of the human vessel. Next time, we will be prepared." The battle for Earth had only just begun, but humanity had shown that it would not fall easily. The Defiance had bought them time, precious time that they would use to prepare for the war to come. Counterattack and victory. 4 weeks after the first encounter, Earth had transformed. The initial shock of alien contact had given way to determined preparation. Global manufacturing had been redirected to defense, with new orbital platforms under construction and the first planetary shield generators coming online in strategic locations. The Defiance remained Earth's primary defense, now joined by a small fleet of hastily upgraded military spacecraft. They weren't as advanced as the Defiance, but they would serve as valuable support in the coming battle. In her quarters aboard the Defiance, Captain Rice studied the tactical projections. Dr. Immerse, the ship's chief scientist, had been analyzing the Sarin technology based on sensor readings from the battle. Their ships utilize a crystalline lattice structure that channels energy throughout their vessels, Dr. Singh explained. Efficient, but each firing sequence creates a momentary power fluctuation we might exploit. How momentary? Rice asked. 3 seconds, maybe 4, Singh replied. Not long, but if we coordinate our attacks perfectly. Their planning was interrupted by an urgent communication from Earth Command. General Chen's face appeared on the screen, her expression grave. Captain, long-range sensors have detected multiple Sarin signatures entering the system. At least 40 ships, including 5 that are significantly larger than what we faced before. Rice felt her stomach tighten. ETA. 16 hours. The Defiance will serve as our primary defense until the planetary shields are fully operational. We're deploying our support vessels to your position. After the communication ended, Rice called a meeting of her senior officers. The situation was dire, but not hopeless. The element of surprise was gone, but they had other advantages. We know our solar system better than they do, she told her team. Commander Sato, coordinate with Earth's fleet. We'll use the asteroid belt and the moons of Jupiter for cover. Hit and run attacks only. Captain, interjected Lieutenant Park, the Defiance's gravitational lensing systems aren't fully recharged. We can't sustain another prolonged engagement. Rice smiled grimly. Then we won't engage directly. We'll be the bait. The plan was audacious. The Defiance would present itself as Earth's main defender, drawing the Sarin fleet into pursuit. Meanwhile, Earth's smaller vessels would hide among the asteroids and moons, emerging to strike at exposed flanks and engines before retreating back to cover. As the Sarin fleet approached, Supreme Commander Vorax was confident of victory. His reinforcements included 5 Imperial dreadnoughts, each equipped with enhanced shielding designed to counteract gravitational weapons. The humans rely on their gravitational technology, he told his commanders. We've modified our shields to adapt to gravitational distortions, and our new phase disruptors should penetrate their defenses. The fleet entered Earth's solar system in tight formation, weapons charged and ready. This time, there would be no ultimatum, no mercy. The resistance of the humans had elevated this from a standard conquest to a matter of imperial pride. Supreme Commander, the human vessel is detected near the Earth's moon, his sensor officer reported. Vorax's mandibles clicked in satisfaction. All vessels, advance. Destroy that ship and any others that defend it. The Sarin fleet moved forward, only to have the Defiance retreat toward the asteroid belt. Vorax recognized the tactic. The humans were trying to draw them into unfavorable terrain. But his confidence in his superior numbers pushed him forward. Continue pursuit, he ordered. As the Sarin fleet entered the asteroid belt, the trap was sprung. Earth's smaller vessels, hiding behind larger asteroids, launched concentrated attacks on the Sarin ship's propulsion systems. The tight formation that had been the Sarin's strength became their weakness, as damaged ships collided with others, creating chaos in their ranks. The Defiance turned to face the lead Sarin vessels, its gravitational lensing system targeting the flagship. But something was wrong. The beam struck the inevitable victory, but dissipated across its modified shields. Their shields have been adapted to our weapons, Commander Sato reported, alarm evident in her voice. Captain Rice had anticipated this possibility. Switch to Plan Delta. All Earth vessels, implement Protocol Sunburst. Across the scattered human fleet, a new weapon was activated. Based on the data from Dr. Singh's analysis, the Earth vessels began emitting targeted electromagnetic pulses, precisely calibrated to the frequency of the Saran power systems. The effect wasn't as visually dramatic as the gravitational lensing, but it was effective. Saran ships began experiencing cascading system failures as their power grids overloaded. Vorax watched in disbelief as ship after ship reported critical systems failing. How? How did they know our vulnerabilities? The Defiance pressed its advantage, leading the remaining functional Earth vessels in a coordinated attack on the 5 Imperial dreadnoughts. The massive Saran vessels, designed for overwhelming firepower rather than maneuverability, struggled to track the nimbler human ships. Target their main power conduits, Rise ordered. All ships, focus fire on the same points. The battle raged for hours. Earth suffered losses. 8 of their 20 support vessels were destroyed. But the Saran fleet was being decimated. Their technological adaptations had prepared them for the gravitational weapons, but not for the ingenious electromagnetic countermeasures. On the inevitable victory, warning klaxons blared as power systems failed across the ship. Vorax realized that defeat was imminent, something he had never experienced in his century-long military career. Supreme Commander, our shields are failing, his second-in-command reported. The humans have targeted our power grid specifically. Vorax made the most difficult decision of his life. All remaining vessels, emergency jump to hyperspace. Retreat to Saran space. The surviving Saran ships, less than a third of their original number, engaged their hyperspace drives, disappearing from the solar system in flashes of light. The inevitable victory was the last to leave, and as it did, Vorax took one final look at the blue-green planet that had defied the Empire. On Earth and aboard the human fleet, celebrations erupted. Against overwhelming odds, they had not only survived but prevailed against one of the most powerful forces in the galaxy. In the aftermath, Captain Rice stood on the observation deck of the Defiance, looking out at Earth. Commander Sato joined her, offering a rare smile. The Saran Empire has never been defeated before, Sato said. This will change everything. Yes, Rice replied. But they'll be back eventually. Not soon. They've learned to fear us now, but someday. And we'll be ready, Sato assured her. 6 months later, Earth had been transformed. The technology developed for the war effort had accelerated human advancement by decades. A proper defense fleet was under construction, with 5 more ships like the Defiance nearing completion. The planetary shield network was operational, and outposts were being established throughout the solar system. In the grand chamber of the newly formed United Earth government, Captain Rice, now Admiral Rice, addressed the assembled representatives. The Saran Empire has retreated, but they've learned about us now. And so have other spacefaring civilizations. We are no longer alone, and we can no longer pretend that the universe is a peaceful place. She gestured to the holographic display showing Earth's expanding defense capabilities. But we have proven something important, not just to the Sarans, but to ourselves. Humanity will not bow to tyranny, no matter how technologically advanced the tyrant. We will defend ourselves, we will innovate, and we will overcome. In the far reaches of the galaxy, news of the Saran defeat spread rapidly among other civilizations. A small, seemingly primitive world called Earth had done the impossible. They had stood against the Empire and won. On countless worlds, oppressed species looked to the stars with new hope. If humans could defeat the Sarans, perhaps others could too. And perhaps these humans might become allies in the greater struggle for freedom across the galaxy. Meanwhile, in deep space, a non-Saran vessel adjusted its course. The defeat of the Empire had created new opportunities, new possibilities. Contact with this remarkable species, these humans, seemed prudent, not for conquest, but for partnership. Earth had announced its presence to the galaxy in the most dramatic way possible. The age of humanity's isolation was over. The age of humanity's ascension had begun.